Live from the Echo Hotel and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria, you are watching CNTV, and we're bringing to you the Information, Communication and Telecommunication Expo 2017, ICTEL. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You can have your seats. Thank you, Benga. Please, I also beg your indulgence. The programs will be shared very shortly. We have the formal programs, and very soon some people will be sharing them over. Now, at this point in time, we would want to go straight to the first welcome address, which gracefully will be done by our own very delectable president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the one and only Chief Dr. Mrs. Nike Akande, CON. So, madam, you're very welcome. Please, we can do better.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you all. Our special guest of honor, Dr. Ogbonaya Onu, Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, ably represented by my friend, Professor Mrs. Gloria Elemo, DG Firu. Thank you, madam. Distinguished guest of honor, Barrister Adebayo Shitu, Honorable Minister of Communications, is on his way. You know, sometimes when you are coming from Abuja, the flight may be delayed, but he has promised us that he will be here today. We are still expecting him. Distinguished guest of honor, Mr. Olufemi Odubiyi, Honorable Commissioner, Lagos State Ministry of Science and Technology. He also is on his way. Because it's in our character to always start on time, this is why we are starting. Sir Ademola Aladekomo, the keynote speaker, you've been here on time. Thank you very much. Mr. Tunji Olukoya, representative of the President of NASIMA. Thank you. Our Deputy President, is he around? He promised to be here. We are still waiting for him. Mr. Babatunde Ruwashe, FCA. Our other Deputy President, Mr. Keynote, MFR, is still on his way. The Chairman, Trade Promotion Board, Mr. Shola Oyetayo, FCA. Please help me to give him a very big round of applause. He's been working round the clock to make sure that we have a very, very successful outing today. We have vice presidents who are always there in large numbers. We have Ashiwaju, Dr. Olawale Cole. Thank you, Doctor, for coming. Mr. Shuboma Ajumogobia. Thank you, too. Yeye Adenike Shobaju, You are most recognized. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of the Executive and Council of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the Trade Promotion Board, the Director General, the engine man of the Lagos Chamber, Mr. Muda Yusuf. I just saw you now. Our valued exhibitors, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the 2017 edition of this Information Communications Technology and Telecommunication Expo, ICTEL Expo, organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the premier chamber of commerce in Nigeria. Thank you. We deserve to be congratulated. We are keeping up to our premier position, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's either Lagos Chamber of Commerce and the rest. The theme of this expo is the digital economy, strategies for growth in a connected world. There is no better time to harness the benefits of ICT than now, when the Nigerian economy is in the dire need of diversification. ICT is strategic in driving productivity and efficiency in all sectors of the economy. Today, virtually all sectors leverage ICT for optimal performance. This is evident in the financial services sector, where electronic banking is now the vogue. The agricultural sector, where government allocates farm inputs through mobile telephones to farmers. The consumer goods sector, where online stores and e-commerce has brought an incredible transformation to retail business, and the medical sciences, where ICT applications are now being widely used for efficiency and many more. The fact is that ICT has become the backbone of businesses. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria has witnessed a phenomenal growth in the ICT sector over the past 2 decades, but there are still enormous potentials yet untapped. This expo is one of the major platforms that offer opportunity to unlock these potentials. As the foremost private sector body in Nigeria since 1888, the Lagos Chamber is providing, through this expo, a credible platform to advance the opportunities and linkages in the world of ICT. We are committed to the building of economic and commercial ties across all subsectors and players in the ICT sector. We plan to continuously broaden the horizon and scope of the expo over the coming years. We will see great investment opportunities coming from closer transactions and business integration among ICT players and their customers. Let me at this stage express our appreciation to our special guest of honor, our distinguished guests, for honoring our invitation to this event. We thank you and acknowledge the strategic initiative which your various institutions have taken to reposition the ICT sector for the progress of the economy and the benefit of the citizens. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our valued exhibitors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, I welcome you to the 2017 ICTEL Expo, powered by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I urge you to take full benefit of this event to promote the prosperity of your various businesses. I thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you.
Please, another wonderful round of applause for the delectable president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, the one and only Chief Dr. Mrs. Nike Akande, CON, a two-time Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. She deserves all the honors. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, I want to believe everybody has their programs. We're sorry for the little delay in sharing the programs. Next on the list is supposed to be a goodwill message from the Honorable Minister, you rightly heard from the welcome address from the President. Is on his way. So we'll quickly skip to the next on the list, which is going to be a goodwill message from the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, well represented by Professor Gloria Elemo, the DG, Federal Institute of Industrial Research. So at this point, can we invite Madame to come give us the goodwill message from the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, the one and only Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much. The President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, no other person than my beautiful sister, a two-time minister in Nigeria, Chief Dr. Nike Akande. LCCI has not had it so well until she came on board. I think she deserves another round of applause. Thank you very much for what you are doing, especially supporting this administration. I recognize all distinguished guests here present, and I am standing on behalf of the Honorable Minister for Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, who actually is unavoidably absent due to very serious other national assignment in Abuja, and he has asked me to please graciously stand in here for you. So please, with all humility, accept whatever the minister has sent to me and believe that it is Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu that is talking to you this morning. I'm going to read his speech, which is sent down to Abuja, from Abuja. The President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, my senior colleague in the positions of ministries in Nigeria, well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I feel highly honored to deliver this goodwill message today, especially on this expo themed with the theme of the digital economy, strategies for growth in a connected world. This could not have come at a better time than when our administration is pursuing vigorously the knowledge-based economy as one of the key areas to diversify the economy. The digital economy, a term synonymous with market, that focuses on digital technologies, involves the trade of information goods or services through electronic commerce. It is a vital sector, driving very substantial growth in all sectors of the economy. In fact, there is no sector of the economy that has not leveraged on ICT. The impact permeates all aspects of our society, including the way people interact, the economic landscape, the skills needed to get a good job, and even political decision-making. Our emerging digital economy has the potential to generate new scientific research and breakthroughs, fueling job opportunities, economic growth, and improving how people live their lives. Information and technology and communication technology has played a very vital role in improving and ensuring Nigeria's economy grows to be among other world's fastest growing economy. There are few business sectors emerging as fast in this digital economy, such as the Jumai, Konga, or even the simple taxi company, the Uber. The decision market advantages of this new model include greater efficiency, the ability to adapt more quickly to needs and wishes of customers, and the absence of almost any additional cost when connecting to new customers. These digital services, once established, are difficult to stop, but it is possible to influence their development to use for sustainability. From the Nigerian point of view, we have to make sure that everyone has the chance to benefit from the digital evolution. This requires competitive internet connections to be available regardless of where a person might be, and for digital skills to be commonly held. Without access to a fast enough internet connection, a huge number of Nigerian citizens are and will continue to be unable to access the full benefits of digitalization and will remain unable to profit from them. The other vital requirement is to ensure Nigerian citizens acquire adequate digital skills. This is not only important for citizens and consumers, for whom a basic digital knowledge is a must if they are to participate in today's digital world, but also from the point of view of business. We all need to be skilled. And the onus remains on LCCI with your strong advocacy in ICT that our generation, and you know the generation I'm talking about, should also acquire that skill. They need workers to show a level of practical knowledge while also employing digital professionals with specialized knowledge if they are to succeed over the longer term in the global market. I will refer to my colleague, the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enalama. He said that the digital economy is a sector of the economy where the private sector already has ownership. The role of government will therefore be to ensure a sound, pro-competitive regulatory environment and hardware infrastructure to foster rapid growth of this area. It has been estimated that there are currently about 150 million active mobile phone users in Nigeria. This is huge, with over 60% of them connected to the internet. Some 17 million Facebook users and new technology startups with a key strategic area of focus into information and communication technology. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we all know that election as a central component and the minimum necessary requirement for representative democracy remains the only legitimate instrument for entrenching good governance and leadership turnover. So it is a core aspect that requires the active involvement of citizens. However, beyond elections, the flowering of democratic practice depends largely on the active participation of the people through different forms of political activities, such as in the electoral process. One of the areas in which this active participation of the people has been enhanced world over is in the use of the ICT platforms. Being an instrument of political socialization and means of political education, ICTs have galvanized massive citizen awareness. And the quality of governance has been enhanced over the years as a result of many factors, among which are revolutions in information and communication technologies. This has in turn impacted participation of citizens in public affairs in relation to multiplication of voices, plurality of voices, advocacy, activism, and electoral activities, which has been enhanced by ICT platforms. Platforms like Facebook has been used extensively, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and the internet. This has deepened democratic process. The power of these platforms are viable mechanisms for political mobilization and their utility to democratic politics, especially the electoral process, which cannot be overemphasized. And so, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in order to make Nigeria a technology-driven society, where ICT and other technologies are utilized for enhancing the credibility of elections, deepening democracy, accountability, and ensuring good governance, the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology deemed it expedient to develop a policy framework to actualize this goal with the support of the Democratic Governance for Development, which we call the DGD2. And this project is co-sponsored by the UNDP. Also, recently, my ministry, through one of my agency, NASENI, that is the Agency for Science, Engineering, Infrastructure in Nigeria, has developed. We have an innovation that will enhance the electronic voting cards. This was presented recently. The need for credible elections and to vote in the right people cannot be overemphasized. And that is why the ministry has come into play to make sure that indigenous, ICT-driven elections will hold by the grace of God. The ministry has also been keenly observing the roles that information and communication technologies have played globally in promoting good governance. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, democracy is being substantially consolidated with the use of ICT. From providing platforms for citizens to access information and services, to the concept of open governance, there is a gradual movement in which the participation of citizens in governance has become substantive with ICT tools. Here in Nigeria, the recent use of card reader and associated technologies have also shown that technology can make significant difference to credibility. The Science and Technology Ministry also has an agency, the National Agency for Space Development in Nigeria. And we have launched at least 2 successful space. I mean, we have launched our satellite in space successfully. And this actually gives us ownership to information management. Areas of agriculture, areas of information as to flood management, areas of information as to our population, and so many other areas of our economic dependence would actually be viewed and managed by Nigerians. These are areas we are expecting to have at least relative autonomy from other areas in the world. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we cannot be talking about job creation without even talking about ICT. The immediate need of this country is to get as many of our youth out of the streets by gainfully getting them employed. And because they are very ICT conscious, this is a very good platform in which most of my ministry has been able to get through and to achieve these feats for Nigeria. The Federal Institute of Industrial Research, which is one of the oldest research institutes in the Ministry of Science and Technology, actually has been in existence for 61 years and has worked in the area of research and development in all aspects of the economy of Nigeria, has worked extensively in agriculture and minerals with the exclusion of the oil and gas. Sorry to have to deviate a little bit. Nigeria, with all its resources in the area of oil and gas, has not successfully taken Nigeria out of the classification of a third world country. It is amazing that with all our resources and all our effigy all over the world, Nigeria is still a third world country. Simply because we have not used our resources other than the oil and gas. We have not used results of research and development that is indigenous knowledge. We have not used it to improve our local resources and come up with industries. FIRO has been working in this area for 61 years, and we have over 250 technologies. These 250 technologies are the start point for every one of us, me and you, to start small industries that will grow to large industry. There is no way. Mr. President, whether you're a woman or a man, you're Mr. President. You've done a lot. Mr. President, we hope to walk along with you in using ICT to launch the over 250 technologies at FIRO for the use and benefit of Nigeria for job creation. I thank you very much.
I think it's fitting we give her another round of applause. She's representing a very unique ministry from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The one and only Gloria Elemo, DG, Federal Institute of Industrial Research, representing the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology in person of Mr. Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, the signals reaching us still stands that the Honorable Minister of Communication is still unavoidably absent. So we shall be progressing to the keynote address. The keynote address this morning is a very unique one for a lot of reasons. And when the individual handling that part comes to this podium, you will understand why. And that is no other person than Sir Demola Aladekomo, the founder, Charms Group PLC. If you've been following the story of Charms over the years, you know that they've done so many remarkable things in the space of ICT. Please join hands in welcoming Sir Demola Aladekomo, the founder Charms Group PLC as he takes the keynote address for this first day of the 2017 ICTEL Expo. You're welcome, sir.
The president of LCCI, the most beautiful. When I came in this morning, I thought there was going to be a beauty contest. And the first contestant was seated. Our very dear chief, Dr. Mrs. Nike Akonde, CON. God bless you. Professor Gloria Lemo, representing the minister. One would have actually thought that you were the minister speaking. The way you delivered that speech. Great job indeed. I don't know whether I have my presentation, if I can have my presentation up and running. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, members of the executive of LCCI, you are most welcome. We thank you for putting up this conference and exhibition. Is one that is very germane, is one that is very necessary for our environment today. Strategies for growth in a connected world. All right. Now, Nigeria is a very interesting community. We have this diagram that typifies what we think about Nigeria. I assume that most of us, apart from the foreigners, we know of Oyingbo Market, or Mushin, or Mile 2, and Co. That is the way we see our country today. But in that diagram, in that picture, you have a lot of data. You need to look beyond that picture you have on the screen. With that picture comes a lot of information. Our population figures. That particular market shows how large we are. As of 1960, we were just about 38 million. By 2050, we're going to be 411 million. We're going to become the third largest country in the world by 2050. Which is just around the corner. And that is the figure we should be looking at in a connected world. Not just the 190.4 million that we have today, making us the 7th largest economy. The question then is, like Professor Elomo said, what is our natural resources? Is it going to be oil and gas that in 2050 will have practically been depleted? If not depleted, will become irrelevant in the scheme of things. By 2050, when we have 411 million people, oil and gas will no longer be relevant in the scheme of things in the world. Your generators, your cars will have shifted to using other resources that are renewable, that are environmentally friendly. So what should we be focusing on in a connected world? Not oil and gas, but our people. Are we going to have them connected? I love what the prof said. Just one of the statistics. We have about 93.5 million people on the internet, which is 60% of the 150 million that we have. But I believe more in the 93.5 million people on the internet today. And guess what? Most of these people are not surfing the internet via laptops or PCs. They're surfing the internet based on mobile phones. How are we going to have our people connected by the year 2050? The next slide will tell us what a digital economy is versus the Oyingbo market that you saw the first time. The supply chain system is completely different from what you're going to have in future. The supply system is a farmer in my village, just farming for the sake of farming, not knowing what the market is going to be about when he's harvesting. He just assumes that people are going to eat yam. How many people that are going to eat yam, he doesn't know. How many people are going to take his cassava, he doesn't know. He just plants for the sake of planting. In a digital economy, it's a different thing. You manufacture on need for use basis. And you can get it just in time to the consumer. You're not just going to manufacture your PCs the way we do it today or your telephone assets simply because Nigeria has 190 million people. You will have been able to predict the demand for your product. If you're in banking, you're going to be able to know what your market size is to the nearest unit. So the supply chain system is going to be very, very different from our Oyingbo market. But briefly, what are we looking at in a digital economy? The foundation is technology. It's going to be doing what you're already doing today, just that it's going to do it better. It's going to do it more efficiently. And it's going to be cheaper. So the technology you have available today and the nearest future will enhance your productivity in such a way that it's going to be really simply amazing to you. A digital economy connects businesses, people, processes, and the supply chain. So you're going to be able to sit back in your office and be able to take your supply chain from Geba to Giza, from A to Z, without leaving that office, just in front of your mobile phone or your PC. The backbone of that is hyperconnectivity. Everybody being connected one way or the other. The technology is going to grow in such a way that every single human being in the world is going to be connected directly, most likely, and if not, indirectly. So you're going to be able to touch every single soul. And not just that, it's going to be within your own territory of Lagos or Nigeria. It's going to be a global village. So your market is not just going to be limited to the 411 million in 2050 or the 190.4 now, but it's going to be universal. It's going to be global. And lastly, you're going to have people, businesses, data, devices, and all those processes interacting continuously and in such a way that the productivity is going to be so huge because they are all coming together, not in a delayed manner, but almost instantaneously. And that is what a digital economy is going to give us. It's going to turn scarce commodities, make them become abundant, and also liberate resources that are already embedded in your systems, liberate them for you so that if you have a couple to spend, the way digital economy is going to make it possible for you is to make it a 1 naira. You're going to have a quantum effect in terms of your resources. Now, for today, these are the trends that we see in the market. Countries are accepting, adopting, utilizing digital economy. And in Nigeria, we are not far behind. Last week, I buy 4 newspapers every day. I sat in a conference in Abuja last week, and a young boy came to me. I said, look, I have a small business proposition for you, sir. I said, what was it? So he said, look, can you imagine the 4 newspapers you buy every day if I'm able to deliver it to you at 25% of your cost? Full blown. I said, no. Look, I already have Twitter. I have various kind of news items delivered to me on my PC. But there's something we haven't been able to do to replace the newspaper. I look at adverts, I look at some obituaries, I look at some exhibitions and things like that. He said, no, sir. What I want to deliver to you every day is the full newspaper. And he brought out his phone, sent me a link. I looked at it, the same this day of the day, every single page delivered to me. I tried The Nation, every single page delivered as if I was reading that newspaper. You see, there's something about reading for people my generation and above. You want to read that hard copy. There's something about reading your textbooks, your novels, your Bibles, the hard copy version. And what this young boy showed me was the complete replacement of that hard book in such a way that I thought I was actually reading those newspapers. As if the newspapers had not had enough problems. I can say if there's any journalist here, if there's any publisher here, your business is over. Just give yourself another 1 year and you better look for another business. So countries are already adopting this. The demographics are changing. If you remember the population demographics I showed you, 63% of Nigerians, as of today, are below the age of 25. Below the age of 59, you have 94% of us. Below the age of 59. Now, these are people that are going to accept and adopt a digital economy. And that population is growing by the day. The millennials are going to take over in another couple of years. So what's going to be our strategy for doing this? Demographics are changing. New technologies are coming on us on daily basis. I told you about that young man last week. And every single day you wake up, the technologies are becoming cheaper. It used to be, for those of you in technologies, we used to have this Moore's law that things change once every year. A couple of years ago, it became once every 6 months. Today, I do not want to guess. It looks to me that technologies are changing almost on a daily basis. How are we going to react? What strategies are we going to use to survive? The customer experience and expectation is becoming very different. It used to be before that you accept whatever is given to you. Any kind of rubbish service that is given to you, you accept. But because we are so connected these days, you now have options. If you do not get a good service somewhere, you just go to the next one. And most of these things are online. At the click of a button, you can change your bank quite easily. And the last one is the data that is available to us. A lot of data has been gathered, more because a lot of us are carrying those mobile phones. A lot of us have one email or the other. A lot of us have registered in one exhibition or the other. And these data are available to quite a lot of people. And the processing power, the capability to crunch that data is so cheap these days, is so available, that we can easily know the kind of dress that our beautiful president is going to wear tomorrow. We probably can predict what she's going to eat for lunch. Today, quite easily, because there is a pattern. And let me scare you. The technology now is available today for me to identify each and every one of you just by taking a photograph of you. Just take a photograph of you. I do not want to know your name. I can go back into my database, match that photograph, and I know everything about you. The only thing I will not know is the volume of what you did behind the closed door. So things are really rapidly changing. Now, what are the possible effects of this new economy that we are looking at? The first one is the cost structure of you doing your business. It's going to be different completely. A lot of us will remember the VHS days. VHS got replaced by DVD. There used to be film rental centers. I grew up in Surulere in those days. We used to go and rent those VHS movies. You remember, sir? Good old days when you used to dance Shalama, Sky, and Co. Suddenly, it went to the DVDs. So yesterday, one of my people came, and we were looking at my sound system. So I opened my drawers. I had almost 2,000 DVDs, and also these VHS cassettes. So I think, what am I going to do with these cassettes? I saw one that I practically flew to New York to go and buy, Pavarotti. He just released some tracks. I really wanted to have it, so the next opportunity I was in New York, bought the cartridge. So as we were discussing, I went online, and the entire collection of Pavarotti, everything he did was just available to me online. Everything Sonny Ade has done, available to you online. Imagine if you had been in the rental business. A friend of mine, Aribi Salah, was in that business. I'm sure he ran bankrupt to that business today. At the click of a button, you have access. The business model has completely changed. I love the way Prof mentioned transportation. Uber. I used to be a taxi driver in Lagos. When I was doing my MBA in Lagos, I enjoyed driving my yellow cab. How many of you have seen yellow cab in the past 1 week? 1 month? They're all dead. The taxi system, the way we grew up to know it, is dead. Because of digital economy. What's going to be your strategy towards the next few years? And it's not years anymore. It's going to be months. Except you are retired. Except you are no longer in business. If you do not change, change is going to come to you. And it's going to be disastrous if you do not accept it. Your value propositions will also change because of this. One of the last projects I did in Chance before retiring was the BVN project. I was very happy getting that project done. Massive project working with all the banks, CBN, NIBS, and Co. We're going to identify, we thought it was going to be 45 million Nigerians that we are going to identify. I've been trying to identify Nigerians for years, since 1998, through the federal government. No thanks, ma. With their politics, it's been very tough. So we now got the BVM project, and we started that. I was so excited. As we were doing it, 65% of CHAM's revenue was coming from eliminating ghost workers in corporate organizations or state governments. And we were making quite a lot of money. Eliminating ghost workers, doing salaries, cleaning up processes. We then had this opportunity of implementing the BVM project. By the time we handed over, we had a party, we were rejoicing. We had this state that we were supposed to go to next. We delayed it because of the BVN project. So we now said, now that we've completed BVN, it was at 25 million then. So let's go back to this state. We got to this state and they said, oh, that project, sorry, there's no need for us to do it again. Look, we can save you at least 60%. We've done the analysis, we can save you 60% of your payroll. They said, look, actually they've saved about 65%. How did you do it? Aren't you aware of the BVN? You did the BVN. A project I did came back to haunt me. This was not about a year. This was less than 2 months after we finished that project. I lost 65% of my revenue stream, just due to the fact that this data is now readily available. And that's the effect of data. So we had to start rushing. How are we going to plug the whole of 65% gap in our revenue stream? Based on a project we did ourselves. It was not that we were not aware that this project was going to have that impact, but we assumed that it was not going to be. The value proposition is going to be different. The last one is that there's going to be massive explosion in new businesses, in new audiences, in new markets with digital economy. We started e-payment in Nigeria, and when we were doing it, it was the days of the value card, Smart Card Nigeria Limited, then to Value Card PLC. We just thought, let's just do this top value card amongst the banks. Within 3-4 years, the impact of e-payment by year 2000, 2001 was so enormous. Nobody ever thought it's going to be like that in 2001. Now imagine what it is like today. On your mobile phone, you can practically do all your banking businesses. And that's the effect of digital economy. And we are just starting. We haven't even scratched it yet in Nigeria. What's going to be our strategy? I've come up with just 3 areas. I have just 15 minutes for this presentation. I said possible growth strategy. I do not think anyone is competent, not especially myself. I've seen through practically all technologies in Nigeria from 1980s up to date. But I still do not think that I'm competent enough to give you those strategies. So I said possible growth strategies to be on the safe side. Because if I had been an expert, BVN that I implemented should not have caught me unawares, Abi. You should not. The first thing we need to do is to accept the inevitable. That your market has changed. The supply chain has changed. Technology is going to disrupt everything you are doing. Every single thing. Even for those of you that go to mosque, that go to church, that preach, technology is going to change it. For us in Nigeria, we love religion a lot. For you pastors in the house, you have to change your means of communication. Because your audience is no longer going to be in your church or in your mosque. They want to be able to follow you on their mobile phones, especially my children. You want to talk to them at home. If you haven't used your mobile phone, you can't communicate with them. That is the new world. Accept the inevitable. That most of our ways of life is going to will be disrupted. There will be a lot of opportunities created. But opportunities for you. For who? You or your competition. Who will the opportunity be for? There will be challenges also created. Will the challenges be for you or for your competition? If you are the one disrupting the market, then you are creating challenges for your competition. If you allow your competition to create the challenges for you, then you are in trouble. Actually, by the time you realize that challenge, you've lost the game. There are a lot of innovations coming up today that you need to be aware of, irrespective of your industry. The first one is artificial intelligence. That is going to be so huge. And I did tell you that I can take the photograph of anybody here today. And if you give me a few minutes, I should be able to tell you your full biodata on technologies that are readily available today. And that is in my own area of business. You're going to have the blockchain technologies coming up that is going to also have enormous impact on the way we do business. For those of you in real estate or restaurant business, hospitality business and co, augmented reality is coming up. That is going to change the way we service our customers. Whereas virtual reality will allow you to go to places that you cannot go to easily within because of limitation of distance and time. Virtual reality can bring it down to you. But augmented reality will bring in that virtual reality and interpose your current situation onto it. So if I'm in fashion business, I don't need to go to my tailor to go and take measurements anymore. If I'm looking for a house or if I want to build an estate, I do not need to get an architect to get it done. I can get a model from US, from Dubai, interpose it into my own local area, and then change it. I'm not saying that architects are going to go out of business. It's just that their profession is gone. I'm not saying that bankers are going to be out of business. But a wise man did tell me that banking is important, but bankers are not. Augmented reality is going to allow that to happen. So what are we going to do? What will be our strategies? The last one I wanted to mention will be autonomous vehicles. Madam didn't mention the issue of transportation. If you're a taxi driver, even for Uber drivers or Taxify, your job is on the block. In another couple of years, even in Nigeria, you're going to be out of job quite easily. If you're a medical doctor, you better start looking at going to research. With things like Watson from IBM, even a simple WebMD, I'm sure my dear brothers had they hardly visit their doctors. Mr. Coker, and by the time he goes into his WebMD, he will have diagnosed practically everything that is wrong with him, and he's ready to argue with his doctor. Now imagine a Watson. Imagine artificial intelligence coming up. So the digital economy is going to distort quite a lot of things. So quickly, 3 different areas. Possible growth strategies. One is to accept the inevitable future. And that future is not tomorrow. That future is today. There will be opportunities, there will be challenges. The knowledge is easily available. So what resources are you going to deploy? You're not going to allow your budgeting system to be in the way of this new up-and-coming digital economy that is already on us. You're not going to overanalyze the future because that future is today. How are you going to react to it? And the beauty of the Nigerian economy is when we accept something, it's like a madman. It's like a zombie. We only hear go. We do not hear come. Once your customers leave en masse, you forget about them. They just go, they do not look back. The way landline disappeared in Nigeria was almost alarming. I woke up one day, I wanted to call somebody. I reeled off the number. I said, daughter, please call this number. He said, Dad, what kind of number is this? It just 6 digits. I said, it's the landline of my friend. I said, landline. She was looking at me as if I was from the mass. Of course, when I called my friend on that landline, because that was the only line, nobody was picking the phone. I said, look, in this house, they have like 8 people living in that house. I was there about a week ago. Everybody just dumped it. And that's the way things go. So we're not going to overanalyze issues onto paralysis. We need to accept it. We need to think future, today. The second one is about the business model, most especially for our friends in technology business. We do think that everything can be resolved by software. No. It's not about software. It's about the business model. When we come to seminars like this, we talk about Uber, talk about Airbnb and co. We think it's about the software. No, it's not about the software. It's about the business model. How am I going to satisfy my customer? What is going to be the supply chain model? How do I over-satisfy that customer? What am I going to do that is going to be different from what my competitors are doing? How do I completely disrupt the market based on the technologies that are available? I need to differentiate my business. I need to completely think out of the box. The days of just incremental thinking, the days of Accenture, KPMG, and co. thinking for you are over. You just must do it yourself. You just need to think about the future and thinking out of the box. Without that, you are dead. So, in coming up with the business model, we need to look at the technologies available. For us to know the technologies available, we must understand them. We must learn quite a lot. But learning about the technology is not even as good as understanding the local environment. You need to localize those technologies. A Japanese technology is best for Japan. An American technology is good for America. You can still take those technologies and localize them and look at your market. And charity must begin at home. If you cannot conquer your own local market, you're not going to conquer the Ghanaian market. I see people rushing over to West Africa. I said, look, but have you done enough in this market that is going to be the third largest by 2050? Have you satisfied your own market? So we need to look at our business model, understand the technologies, and understand our local environment, adapt the technologies to our local environment, think out of the box, and come up with business models. The software, the apps, can easily be developed. You can contract the software to 1,001 people to develop for you. The most important and critical thing, number 2, will be your business model. And the last one is action. I did say that we, a lot of times, overanalyze the situation to paralysis. Time and tide will not wait for you in the new economy. The most important thing you need to do will be to take action. You need to take action. You need to have a particular vision. You can't be a jack of all trades. You can't be all things to all men. We need to focus. We need to focus on our vision and be able to get it done. And once we have it implemented, we need to review it. We need to have constant reiteration of it. And like I did say, the data is going to be very much available for us to analyze our situation. Unfortunately for us, for that example I gave you in charms, we learned our lesson pretty fast. And within months, we were able to change direction because of the enormous amount of data that we have. Being able to reiterate, being able to use that big data, being able to crunch the figures can give you good strategies for this new world that you are going to have. Not tomorrow, but today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Here's another rousing round of applause for our keynote speaker. Sir Demola Aladekomo, the founder, Champs Group PLC. He shared so many wonderful insights as regards to the role ICT play in modern-day Nigerian business, using the example of his firm, obviously, Champs, and all that ICT can revolutionize. Before I proceed, I did mention when I started earlier that every now and then I will be recognizing the presence of some important dignitaries in our midst. And while Sir Demola Aladekomo was speaking, an important individual walked in. That's the person of Tran Trong Kim. Mr. Tran Trong Kim is the third secretary commercial attaché, the Embassy of Vietnam in Nigeria, covering Ghana, Cameroon, Togo, and Sierra Leone. Please, can we see you by indication? You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. And if you would permit me, it is very important when you're having events like this to recognize those who made it possible. Events like this wouldn't be possible if some individuals, be it governmental and private, did not give their support, as it were. So I will quickly do a very quick rundown, some key sponsors and partners that made the 2017 ICTEL Expo possible. And from the government side, we have the Federal Ministry of Communication Technology, the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, NCC, that's the Nigerian Communication Commission, Nigeria Internet Group, Alton, Association of Telecommunications Companies of Nigeria, NIBSS, NIMS, IPSPON, ISPON, ITURN, Nigeria, Lagos State Government under the Ministry of Science and Technology, Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria, and NERA. And some of our wonderful sponsors and partners for this year includes Main One, Rack Center, HP, Samsung, NIMS, AfriOne, IBM, Vodacom, and of course, members of the press, all our media partners. You know yourselves, and we are really, really appreciative of the fact that you came together to make this year's ICTEL Expo possible. Now, one of the high points of this morning's unveiling is the fact that we have two wonderful brands that will be unveiling their products to us. An ICT event such as this cannot be complete without us getting to see some very interesting ICT products and services. And this morning we have two wonderful brands that will be doing that. While we still wait on the Honorable Minister of Federal of Communication and Technology, or any of his representative, and also some of the dignitaries. At this point, I don't know if HP is ready for us. I shall be inviting Elizabeth Waje. Elizabeth Waje is the Executive Assistant to the MD HP Nigeria and the District Head for Central Africa. She will be taking us on the unveiling session to be done by HP before we move to another unique brand, AfriOne. They'll be following suit shortly after HP does their part. So Elizabeth Waje, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and you're all welcome to the third edition of the ICTEL Expo. I'm here to unveil the HP premium business brands, particularly the personal computers. HP is known to reinvent workplace. We constantly reinvent the way we make our devices. Thank you.
Bear with our beautiful stage.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, our ladies have this very unique footwear that you need to be careful at times.
Sorry about that interruption. Before I was nearly embarrassed on the stage, so I'm here to unveil the Experience HP Premium devices. Okay, constantly we keep reinventing the way we do our business, particularly on our devices. So this unveil is to show how we've improved workplace, workforce, and lifestyle with our craftsmanship. So the premium devices are particularly for HP business. And afterwards, you can come to a stand to have a look and feel of these devices. Please enjoy. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed what you saw here. You can come to a stand to have a feel and a look of what you've seen. Thank you.